Hello everybody, welcome back. So let's have a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, the overall market, see if this is going to be something to worry about, or if there is a silver lining of this, well, what could be considered to be a dark cloud. So overall, we've had a bit of a pullback. At the moment, it does look like there would be, and there could quite easily be a bit more downside to this one. Bringing us down to these levels around between $48,000 and $50,000 for Bitcoin, and obviously that would take alts down with it. As it did last night. One thing to look at when we come into to recognise the strength of alts is the way that Ethereum looks. And I'll tell you what we'll do as well. We'll bring up the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart because we'll need that to gauge some form of strength on this. But also, while that's loading, we've got the Bitcoin dominance chart. And the Bitcoin dominance chart, again, I've been saying has been bearish. It's been bearish since January, really, where the main alt season took place. Now, I honestly do think that we're going to move into another gear of alt season. First of all, when we look at this is the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, and when we got this big uptrend level of support that has been broken down from ever so slightly before, but generally speaking, this is clearly an uptrend. It's been going on for 14 or 15 months or so. We're more or less at that now. So if there were to be a bounce at some point soon, it would take place within the next few weeks, and this would carry altcoins with it. Now, we've looked at this a few times on this channel, and like I say, when we look at it, we have these big moves up, we bounce. These are weekly candles, 1 2 3 4 and a bounce, 1 2 3 and a little bit of a bounce, and then continuation, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and a bounce. So I would expect that this will inevitably bounce at some point soon. Not bouncing at the moment, obviously, but if there was to be an area to buy in or to hedge against Bitcoin, or to assume that altcoins are going to reign supreme again, this chart, it'd be one of those things that you would do to work out that risk to reward. And in my opinion, I think the risk to reward against Bitcoin with Ethereum, it's pretty high. I'd say it's pretty high. Buying in at Ethereum at these levels, even if there is going to be some short-term downside, against the dollar, it looks to me like the way that it's worked. We have these tests of the uptrend and a bounce, test of the uptrend and a bounce, test of the uptrend and a bounce. Each bounce gets bigger than the last one, and again the support also gets higher than the last one. So that's one way to look at it. Again, the Bitcoin dominance, we've just been through that, but essentially what we've had is previously we were looking at this trend line here, where we previously would tap on it and then rally. This time, just recently, the last few days, we've officially broken down below it, closing below it. One day, as in yesterday, we closed down below it, I suppose, for the first time, and these ones I suppose are there as well. Now, it's also worth recognising that this is an uptrending level of support, so it would eventually break one day, because it would go to 100% eventually at some point soon. Well, not soon, over the next 5 years or so, this would reach 100%, so it was always going to break down at one point. So now that we've broken down below there, the key area would be 60% dominance. Breaking down below 60% dominant, in my opinion, is going to at that stage cause the next level of alt season. So thinking about what we've seen now with the Bitcoin to Ethereum chart, and now we're breaking down below this trend line, and we've got this last one to go, that would then incur an alt season. So the lower term time frames are probably going to show a bit of a choppiness, but generally downside. As you can see, this is a downtrending chart. It's not looking too good for the Bitcoin dominance. So I'm quite happy by saying that hedging into altcoins around these levels is better than buying back into Bitcoin. Now, normally I would say when you're coming down to a trend line like this, for the daily, for instance, I say, well, this is the area to hedge into Bitcoin. We're likely to bounce from here. But given this chart, not that one, this one, and this one combined, I think that the rally or the alt season or buying into alts would be the preferred choice. Now, I'm no financial advisor. It's not financial advice, but this is the way I'm choosing to interpret the chart this time round. So rather than hedging, into Bitcoin from alts, I would be looking to buy more alts than Bitcoin at this point now. And if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. You always, you got to take responsibility for the risk that you incur. Alts always incur more risk, but I like the way that these are shaping up, and I measure these two together, and I think that we're going to break down from here. Doesn't mean we're going to break down immediately after you watched this video, though, so just bear that in mind. You know, we're looking at daily and weekly time frames here. This is a weekly chart, okay? So just because you've watched the video and you wake up tomorrow and it's gone down again, doesn't mean that I was wrong. You will have to wait likely maybe even a few more weeks before the fruits of this take place. Not just as when I was telling people to hedging, no, I wasn't telling anyone, but when I was saying hedge into altcoins around here, mid to late January was where the alt season was going to take place. Hedging in around January, well, with Bitcoin particularly, that would have felt like a bad idea. But ultimately, what happened is that Bitcoin started to lose its value, while altcoins rallied massively. So I think that this is the same kind of vibe as what's going on here. So what we're going to look at now is look at Bitcoin just briefly. So this was the Bitcoin after its parabolic run, and then it broke down, tested the center of the Bollinger Band, bouncing, rejection, so a lower high here, but still holding on to the support, which is the center of the Bollinger Band, and then finally breaking down. This whole situation from top to bottom took a period of 20 days. Did feel like a lot more than that, because at the time alts were just going crazy. So every day you were making way more in alts than you would have done in Bitcoin. Way more. And it still carried on. The alt season has technically been going on this entire time, but obviously Bitcoin has got stronger, but the Bitcoin dominance doesn't really represent the strength of Bitcoin in comparison to alts. So if we are going into a new rotation, like what we could be, or the signs are suggesting that we might do, then we might end up having a further downtrend with Bitcoin while alts actually rally. Now, none of this is yet confirmed, but the fact is, if we have a look at this candle today, we closed last night below the center of the Bollinger Band, and today we've came up to test it and are currently already been rejected from it. So that's not a good look for Bitcoin, and I would probably expect that if we do break down from here, it could take alts down with it. So if we just have a little look, if we just measure, what am I doing? What am I doing? So if we just measure this out like this and have a look at how it could possibly behave, this is the sort of perhaps possible move that we're looking to get with Bitcoin. Again, it's not going to be exact, but this is what happened last time. And if we think about where it's bringing us down to, it is bringing us down to where that Bollinger Band is between 48 and 50. So, and the time frame being, until next month. So the end of this month. Again, this isn't going to be exact, but it looks very similar already to how this has behaved. It doesn't mean that it's going to behave exactly the same. And if it does behave the same as this, and we have a rising Ethereum in comparison to Bitcoin, it would then bring the Bitcoin dominance down further. And you know what happens when supports break down? There's a domino effect. It breaks down and then it goes down to a new level of support. In order for it to get to that level of support, would require another leg up or several legs up for the majority of altcoins. Smaller caps will run really hard. Large caps will probably gain 50% or so, and everyone is going to be pretty happy with their outcome. Now that, like I say, has not been confirmed. That's only going to be confirmed if this breaks down. But the way I'm choosing to view this upon the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, the Bitcoin dominance chart, and the very basic fractal that we just put in on the Bitcoin chart itself just now. What's going on with this computer? Someone needs a new graphics card. So yeah, this is my preference. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I'm willing to take a risk that this is going to be the outcome, and I am hedging back into altcoins at this moment in time. A variety of different ones, the ones I normally talk about on my channel. But if you want to know more, obviously there's a live stream tonight. You've got to be a Patreon member to join the live stream, but it's only £7.50 a month. You get 2 live streams a week, usually going for about 2 hours, and we can look at all different types of charts, and we can cherry pick which ones look good, which ones look risky, which ones have got most potential, and we can talk about this theory of mine a little bit later. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there, but thank you for watching. Don't worry, don't get too concerned. If there is further downside with Bitcoin and altcoins, it could only really be, in my opinion, another 12.5% at best, and then probably find a bounce from there. And then we can talk about at that point, where we're going to go, which is probably back into the 60s, maybe into the 70s, sooner than you think. But yeah, I like the way that altcoins look right now. That might be a bit silly to say that, as most of them are down, if not all of them. But yeah, I like the way that this is shaping up. So I'll leave it with you there. Have a nice day. Take it easy.